state title. And it'd be a shame to not have all these teams have an opportunity to go against each other. We've been praying and praying for at some point that all of us will be able to be in one big tournament. And being able to have something like this can help continue to grow and be able to allow these young men, more importantly, to have opportunity to keep playing and allow colleges to get in and see some of these kids.
With the hoops in the area, get Baltimore involved, Nova involved, DC, Maryland, and have a real March Madness here.
Well, we talk so much about this being the best area in the country for basketball. I think it's time for us to put everybody together and really showcase what the DMV is really all about.
McNamara remains in the lead, 6-4, Zion near side. That's Bird seeing his first actions. He's blocked by Collingwood, and Mustangs now in transition, and it is taken away again by Zion. So Zion hanging toe-to-toe right now, drives inside, and not quite there for King. Putback, though, will fall for Bird.
Zion being able to turn McNamara over a couple possessions. As we said, they got to be able to finish, and on that possession, they found a way to get one in the hole.
Looks like Zion's kind of switched things up defensively.
They're back into what looks like a 1-2-2, kind of a 3-2, and they're forcing McNamara to take threes. And right now, they're not falling for them.
Transition going up, and that is a block. Get off my lawn, says Collingwood as he denies it, and here comes McNamara the other way. Strong through, and that one will be a foul committed by Montgomery.
As he does every single time, Jeremiah Quigley puts pressure on you and getting in that paint. He makes a living from the free throw line. I'd love to see his stats from the free throw line on the year. There we go. 113 for 136. He's shooting 83%.
I mean, that's what you want out of your kids out there.
Coach Keithline has the rest of his team off the line. He's going to make sure that they know we got to pick it up here defensively, and we got to be a little more patient with our shots that we're taking.
So they'll bring Alexander in for McNamara. Rather, Zion brings them in. Quigley gets them both. 8-6 McNamara edge so far. Zion kicks it in the near corner. Thought about the three, instead gonna play with it. They'll set it back. It's taken away by the Mustangs. A clear hold and a slam dunk. Prince Moody.
They missed an intentional foul there, grabbing of the jersey. But Prince Alexander Moody said he was not going to be denied on that possession. Got up in the passing lane, got a good steal, and finished with a emphatic dunk on the other end.
That hold more obvious than the play in the Super Bowl.
That's an offensive foul.
That foul goes against Kawadi. First personal.
Kawadi had an easy opportunity in the paint, but he hooked, and the referee made the right call. Mount Zion stays in their 1-2-2.
Coach, against this style of defense, where are the weaknesses in this zone? As they go to the corner, I was going to say maybe that was one of them, Coach.
Well, I would say when you're going against a 1-2-2, the corner three is, if you can get touches in the middle, you will find the opportunities in those corner threes because you don't have the three guys on the baseline in the traditional 2-3.
Somerville on the rebound, Quigley
and this is where
through
Quigley's
the teeth, and he gets fouled going up.
Back to the free throw line. And he's made a living there all year.
Now, Coach, as they bring us on here, what are you seeing so far from McNamara? What do they need to do to kind of start to establish themselves in this game?
Well, I'd like to see them get some touches in the middle of the zone where they can suffocate the men and be able to have a little more freer reign to their three-point shots. Some of their three-point shots right now are being a little more contested than normal. And I think if they can create an inside presence by just getting the ball in there for touches, you'll see them force Zion to potentially come out of that zone.
And that'll do it for the first quarter here at Tacoma Academy, where it is Bishop McNamara 11, Zion 6. And Coach, pretty low scoring first quarter, pretty typical for these types of postseason tournaments. What adjustments would you be making if you're on the Zion sideline right now?
Well, the key for them right now is they got to be able to finish. I think they've given themselves some great opportunities. They've created some steals, but in transition, they have not finished every single time. If they finished some of those steals that they had earlier in that part of the first half, they'd probably be in the lead right now.
And then on McNamara's side, few coaches would know Coach Keithline as well as you. What's he telling his guys?
Let's settle in. You know, we got to be a little more patient with our shots. We don't have to rush. We're taking some shots early in the shot clock. Let's make sure the ball touches side to side. Again, like I said, let's see if we can get some touches inside so we can get inside presence to be able to have the ball get kicked outside for more quality three-point shots.
This has been such a fun event so far. I want to thank DMV Elite for helping set this up, one of the sponsors. Marcus Helton does such a great job. I know when we were prepping for the game, we were both probably on that website looking for info.
Those guys do an unbelievable job. Their support for the community, their support of the young men who are playing this game, and being able to put information out there to help them, you know, chase and live up their dreams. My hats go off to guys like Marcus because he does an unbelievable job, and his ability to care for the kids means a lot.
And that is not an easy job as someone that shared the sidelines with him for about 10 years, doing it day in and day out. Not an easy job, hard finding rosters.
Well, especially when everybody's wants to tell you what your job should be in terms of the rankings and everything else. But I have to say, everything that I've always seen from Marcus has been quality one, and I appreciate him for the job that he does.
Quigley with a takeaway to start things off. That would have been fantastic. Doesn't go. Zion with the rebound. That is Fulfack with it. Suber with it at the point, guarded by Quigley. Zion goes right back up top, 10 to shoot. McNamara's defense pretty tight so far on this possession.
This is when McNamara's dangerous. When they're defending and keeping people out of the paint, they're a tough team to beat. But I have to say, Coach Q's team here has done a very good job of being able to move the ball side to side, really forcing the defense to have to play. They're trying to get them to maybe make some mistakes where they can get some easier baskets.
That foul was Quigley's first.
Here they go inside.
And that's an easy bucket for Fulfack. He has 4.
It's a nice little play run from underneath the baseline to get their big guy an opportunity at the rim.
Prince Moody, who had that great dunk, brought it up, and now McNamara settling in with Quigley. Back to Somerville.
McNamara was looking for their lob play on that possession. I've seen that play before. And here's where Jeremiah's dangerous, getting in the paint and finding guys. To their shooters. Shooters right now having a tough time tonight, but I don't expect that to last long.
In pregame, they were playing with the rim, shooting. The rims here rattle a little bit, so probably just getting adjusted. 5:34 to go in the first half. And turnover off of the pass near side. That'll go back to the Mustangs.
Now, the one thing that Mount Zion can't do is have unforced turnovers like that, because McNamara will definitely take advantage of that.
Number 23.
Quigley controls from up top. McNamara going baseline with it, looking for some help. Dangerous pass, controlled, 10 to shoot. Good ball movement on this possession. 3 ball off the rim, doesn't go inside. The follow isn't there, and it will go back to Zion.
You know, McNamara didn't score on that possession, but the one thing I did see that they got to definitely could have an opportunity to take advantage of, if they're going to take these deep threes and not fall, they got to do a job of trying to crash the boards. And on that possession, they did give themselves a second chance opportunity, but it didn't fall down.
5:54 to go in the first half here from Tacoma Academy. Zion right from the middle, kick out, good ball movement with 10 to shoot. They'll reset up top, Suber with it. Suber inside pass, maybe a little too sharing on that one. They'll put it up off the mark, and they'll get the shot clock violation. I don't know. I think that
ball hit the rim. I think they missed that one.
McNamara was there for the rebound either way.
Referees came together and they made the right call. Heavy substitutions on this possession for Mount Zion. They're bringing in three fresh guys off the bench.
Zion sends it up top, looking for the three. Long triple will fall for King.
Coach Keith line is heated.
And I think what he's arguing is that his team got the ball despite the violation, and yet it was still rewarded back to Zion. Coach, sometimes you call a timeout to talk to your team. He called a timeout to talk to the Zebras.
He definitely did, and he's correct in this instance, because it was not a shot clock violation, and his team did gain the rebound, but they stopped the play, and now, as sometimes they do, they may get it wrong.
Now, with the assistant coaches running the huddle here, if you were chatting with the refs, what would your assistants be going through with your team right now?
Just reiterating some of the things we've said earlier. Guys, we got to settle in. Let's be a little more patient. We got to be definitely locked in on defense and not give up any easy opportunities. But again, let's let this. I keep saying, let's let the ball touch inside and get back out.
Coach Keith Lyon saying that maybe we should have just called a jump ball at that point with his hand signals, but they'll play on, all tied at 11.
Mount Zion has extended their zone. Just looks like they want to just make McNamara play with a short shot clock. So they're staying here in the zone, but they extended it that last possession to try to get McNamara to walk it up, take some time off the clock.
Fire it back up top to Quigley, 10 to shoot. Gets a screen, can't do much with it. He'll put up the contested three, and it's short, rebounded by Zion. Dorman brings it up.
The 1-2-2 for Mount Zion is giving McNamara a little trouble here. I haven't seen them not settle in as they have in here.
Fullback, great kick out, looking for another three. That one off the mark, rebounded by Quigley.
Here's where they got to race. Don't let them get set up in their zone. Push the pace. Look the ball. Here we go, right inside. Great block. Way to go find and finish.
Terrific follow by Collingwood.
I think for McNamara to get Mount Zion out of that press, they've got to take advantage of when they can, pushing the pace and not allowing them to get simply set up.
Mustangs back on top, 13-11, 4:20 to go in the first half. Dorman on the baseline, kicks it out. Mid-ranger, and we'll get a foul. Looks like that's going to be on Moody, his first personal.
Mount Zion is showing to be the aggressor right now. They're really doing a very good job of moving the ball around, getting shots in the mid-range and even at the rim. You know, I think the person we haven't really spoken about in the game so far is Coach Q. Coach Q has a history with McNamara. People forget Coach Q was once an assistant in the WC. He spent 2 years as an associate head coach over at Good Counsel. And now he's had an opportunity to take over being a head coach. He's at Avalon, and now he's currently the head coach running this Mount Zion program. And he's one of the young coaches in the area who is growing and doing an unbelievable job.
Ben Chandler and Chase Lawton check in. And Coach, you get through your conference tournament, your conference championship. You have these extra tournaments afterwards, be it DC State, Maryland State, Alhambra. What's it like getting your guys back up coming off of a loss from those?
It's hard. I'll be honest with you. Even in a win, it's hard. You know, the WCAC is the best basketball conference in the country. And you want so bad to win that thing that even sometimes when you win it, and then if you're on the other end and you're losing it, it's so anticlimactic that sometimes it's hard to get up for these extra events. So, I like to say I always have to try to pull out some Jedi mind tricks, convincing our guys that they've definitely got something to play for. And most importantly, playing for your brothers. There's still seniors who are needing to find homes. So playing in these other events give more opportunity for those guys to be seen and have a chance to make sure we get them into college.
King with that rebound. And it's been crazy over the years. You go to Alhambra, you watch the DC State, and you have teams that are loaded, nationally ranked, and then all of a sudden you have a weird hiccup that no one expects, but it's that kind of epilogue of the book, right? The WCAC championship tournament is the book, and then all of a sudden, there's an extra chapter.
I love your Star Wars references. Matter of fact, and The Mandalorian starts back up this coming week.
I'm already locked and loaded. Top Chef is starting too, so I'm going to have to manage that.
I'll tell you, that was probably an ill-advised 3 on that last possession by Mount Zion, but their guys are doing a very good job of crashing the boards. They found themselves underneath with a chance to make 2, but he walks away with 1 for 2, and that was Hassan Dorman.
Now, talking about Coach Q and Mount Zion, one thing that was very impressive in their previous win to get here over Bullis, not only was it the top seed, they had 4 players in double figures. That balance to where McNamara can't necessarily focus in on one guy.
Watching them tonight it's been neat to see that, in that I don't really think they have one guy that you just cue in on and say, okay, we got to shut him down. I think you got to be able to get your guys to understand that they got to play in man on an island and understand that they got to own their matchup, because these guys got a few different players who can put the ball in the hole.
Great assist from Quigley to Collingwood for that elbow too.
But that's what we were talking about, McNamara getting the ball inside. If they want to be able to get themselves where they need to be with the threes, they got to let that ball touch the sides. McNamara here now puts in the zone of their own.
Corner triple off the back iron, rebounded by Quigley.
And here's where they got to be dangerous. Push the break, get to their spots.
Tipped away by Zion. That'll let them set up the defense with 2:24 to go in the first half.
I like that last call on the last possession defensively by Coach Keithline, throwing in a little zone. And here's McNamara showing themselves to get touches inside. Referees missed a foul on that one.
And that'll go back to Zion as it's a 1-point game as we tick down towards 2 minutes in the first half. McNamara with 5 team fouls with 2:10 to go. And we'll get a Zion timeout.
Well, I can tell you, for these guys running this event for the first time, I mean, it's beautiful to see the lower bowls almost full already for these semifinal games.
Yeah, this has been a fun tournament so far. You got some good upsets. That always makes it fun. And now you got the Final Four here. And these tournaments, you never know what's going to happen, especially because it's after those conference ones that we talked about.
Well, I not to talk so much about the WCAC, but there's a lot of teams in the area who believe that they're as good, if not better, than some of the teams in our league. And when they have those opportunities to play against, not just the WCAC, but even the IAC, Bullis has had an unbelievable year this year, and Mount Zion saw it as an opportunity to make a name for themselves, and they came out and won against a very, very good team. And then, as I said, unfortunately, the 2 guys in the WCAC one of them had to take the other one out. But right now, Mount Zion, they're playing with no fear. They feel like they have nothing to lose and everything to gain, and they're putting some pressure on McNamara right now.
And every program wants to make a name for themselves. At one point, no one knew DeMatha. They knocked off that undefeated team, and all of a sudden, folks started to recognize the WCAC from back in the day.
McNamara goes zone again on that possession, and Mount Zion, to their credit, did not settle for threes. They had still attacked the paint, found themselves on the offensive board for another 2 points.
The Warriors with their first lead since early in the game. That one off the mark. Tip isn't there. We'll get a behind the back, though, on Zion. Foul is going to be on Kawadi. his second personal. Rather third. I missed one.
Both teams bringing new players in the game. Returning back for Mount Zion is Isaiah Alexander and Bobby Montgomery.
1:40 to go in the first half.
And back in for McNamara on cue.
They go to the big fella, Idope, with it. Mustangs back on top by 1.
McNamara back into man-to-man.
Chandler, good defense, forces the pass. Chandler back on Suber. Gets a screen. Suber looking for the pass, and that is deflected out of bounds by Moody.
One thing McNamara does a really good job defensively. They get a lot of tips and deflections, which a lot of times creates the opportunities for steals and easy opportunities on the other end to get on the fast break.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Got to be aware of that in this situation. Suber with it. Drives. He'll go to the line for a couple. And coach, you're shaking your head. That was almost a good defensive possession.
Almost a great defensive possession, but what I'm just impressed by Mount Zion's ability to get downhill and keep getting to the rim. And a lot of teams don't do that against McNamara.
McNamara 16 fouls, so for the last 107 shooting for Zion. Logan Suber, a 6-foot guard, senior year.
Knocks them both down.
Rather, he's a junior.
Referee just blows a whistle. We've got a player from Mount Zion with blood on the elbow. Coming back in for Isaiah Alexander is Hassan Dorman.
Now, do you guys just keep a bunch of Tide pens handy for the blood, or how do you guys handle that?
Our trainers have some special prey. I actually keep a couple Tide sticks in my backpacks just for it. Give everybody a tip. The easy way to get blood out after games or any kind of stains, white vinegar.
Noted. Was that from watching CSI?
Nah, that was a trick from my wife. Jared, my youngest, at an AAU game, white uniform, set on some chocolate. I thought his uniform was done. Would have never, ever known he set on chocolate.
You came for hoops, you got laundry tips.
We do it all. Jack of all trades, master of none.
Love it. So McNamara with the rebound here. 1-point game as we tick down to 44 seconds in the first half. Somerville kicks it out. McNamara drives baseline, and that underneath stuff isn't there. Shot clock doesn't reset. 10 to shoot. Nearly a giveaway, and it is given away. It saved Zion with it. 23 seconds. Are they going to hold for one? No, they'll go quick. 3-ball is there. Logan Suber with the triple.
Mount Zion at this point in the first half has really been running their game plan to the T.
10 to shoot. Mustangs got to go quick. Zion with it. 4 seconds. Pull up. Contested. It goes at the buzzer. Hassan Dorman beats the buzzer for 3, and Zion goes into the locker room with the lead, 24-17 at the half. And what a finish to that first half, Coach.
You know, we talked a lot about this year with my team, how you finish quarters, and that's a tough way to finish a quarter with under 20 seconds, ending up giving a team opportunity twice to shoot threes, and then they make both of them, so that makes it even harder. You know, sometimes we talk about being able to be a little more patient, understanding time and score, and I think in that possession, McNamara took that last shot maybe just a little too quick because it gave Mount Zion another opportunity to hit a second three.
Now, what are both coaches saying to their guys in this locker room? Zion, they're really excited at some momentum. What's Coach Q saying to his guys after a play like that?
You know, you said, I'm sorry, Coach Q?
Yeah.
Well, one, not too high, not too low. There's a lot of game left, and we got to stick to the script, but we got to also act like we've been here and make sure that we don't start celebrating too early, because McNamara's too good of a team that we know that they can come back at any moment, especially for a team that shoots the ball to three the way that they do. And just unfortunately hasn't fallen for them in the first half, but I don't expect for that to stay that way all night long. And then on the other end for McNamara, I'm sure Coach Keithline just telling his guys, hey, we got to settle in. We're only 7 points down. We really were only a 1 point away, but we decided to take a couple of tough shots, and the other team capitalized on it. If they can be patient, start getting the ball inside, I think we're going to have a heck of a ball game down to the finish.
Well, it was a fun first half. We'll be back with more in the second half right here from Tacoma Academy. Welcome back to Tacoma Academy. Brian Kapoor here alongside Coach Steve Turner. We're at halftime. It's 24-17 Mount Zion. And Coach, for Mount Zion, who's impressed you so far?
Well, Lynn King, he's leading the way with 7 points, but not only is he leading the way with 7 points, he's leading his team in rebounding as well with 5 on the board. But what's been impressive with me for Mount Zion is just the team. Right now they're playing, I think they're locked into each other. They're playing well together, and they have so many different weapons that can hurt you at any moment. So it wouldn't surprise me to see a couple other guys lead the way in the second half.
And then meanwhile, on the other side, that last minute, kind of a disaster for McNamara in terms of it was a 1 point game. All of a sudden, you're looking up down by a touchdown. What has Coach Keithline got to do with the Mustangs?
Get them to just play one possession at a time and understand that they don't have to get it all back in one play. You know, they're going to decide that they're going to get some stops. We like to talk about getting kills. And what I mean by kills is we try to see if we can get 3 stops at a time. They need to see if they can get a couple kills here in this third quarter and be able to be patient enough on the offensive end and give themselves some chances for easy opportunities. But McNamara's is a heck of a team. I don't believe they've gone away yet, and I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Keithline has something nice drawn up coming out of this half for them to be able to get themselves going again.
Well, it's all going down on PWG right here. We'll have all the action for you as we get set for your second half. Looks like McNamara is going to start with possession. They're just figuring out which side of the court to set up Somerville with it. At halftime, Edo Patti, Collingwood, both with 4, as well as Somerville for McNamara. On the other side, Lynn King, who had a big 3, led the way with 7. Quigley going to start things off.
They look to run one of their plays that they like to run, where they set screen in the middle and get Jeremiah downhill. But the way that Mount Zion is set up in the 3-2, it didn't give way for them to do what they did. But on the boards, Edopa starts it off again. He now has 6 points to go along with that on that rebound, 8 rebounds in the game.
Had 10 rebounds against DeMatha as McNamara advanced to this point. Probably on pace for that, if not more, as Quigley has it, surveys, and elects to hang on to it rather than passing.
In the paint where he does damage. Here we go.
Step back jumper for Quigley. He has 6.
McNamara's in a 1-3-1.
All of a sudden, lead is cut down. 3-point game. McNamara head of steam.
Here's
3-on-1.
Go on the break.
Idope with the throwdown. Slam dunk Mustangs, and it's a 1-point game.
Great adjustment by Coach Keithline to start this half off in a 1-3-1. And there's a timeout from Coach Q and Mount Zion.
Coach Q takes time, and that couldn't have gone better for Coach Keithline in terms of what they drew up.
Coach Keithline is a mastermind. He's been doing this for a long time. And I told you, all he had to do was get his team to just settle in, relax, be patient, and communicate and execute. And thus far, they've done so. And we talked about the kill. That's two possessions in a row that they stopped. If they were to stop them on this possession, that'd be a kill to start the second half off.
Basketball is just such a game of runs. They had that run to close the first half. Now McNamara comes back, and now it's Zion kind of on their heels a little bit.
No doubt. And, you know, when you have an opportunity to be able to get that ball back inside, not let Mount Zion set up in their zone, gives McNamara easy opportunities to finish at the rim.
Zion going to set up here.
And Coach Keithline makes another switch back to the 1-2-2.
Zion wings it around Suber up top. Goes to the elbow, trying to go baseline, and that is pickpocketed by Somerville. 13 on the shot clock. Zion's got to get it in. Wide open in the corner, great dribble drive underneath. Doesn't fall, rebounded by the big fellow for McNamara.
And that's McNamara with 3 possessions in a row on defense and stopping Mount Zion from scoring. And Jeremiah back to where he does damage, that mid-range. When he gets inside that volleyball line in the paint, it's almost like automatic. Back to the 1-3-1 defense from McNamara.
He's got 7. And McNamara has a 1-point lead. Near side triple, back iron. Great crashing of the boards there by Zion. They'll get it, and that will rim out.
Stay with the possession. McNamara did not corral that one in. McNamara goes to stays in zone here. 2-3 on the inbounds.
Send it way up top. Fresh shot clock after that, and we'll get tied up underneath. Foul is going to go to Chandler. Rather, Somerville, that's his first personal. Zion sends it up top. Fulfack with it. Back to Dorman. 20 to shoot. They go to the elbow, kick out up top, 3-ball off the back iron. Rebounded by the Mustangs. Mount Zion yet to score in this half.
That's 4 empty possessions for Mount Zion.
Somerville looking for help, finds his man in the corner, 3, short, rebounded by Zion. Doberman with it, now back to the near side. Back up to Dorman. Looking for a kick out. Quigley's there. 1-on-1 in space. He goes up. Are we going to get an offensive charge? We do. Coach, did Suber get his feet set?
That's a tough one. He certainly got to the spot and got himself set up. I'm not quite sure he was set up before Jeremiah Quigley got in the air. That's a crucial foul for McNamara. Their leader now has to go out of the game with 4 fouls. But I will say, if McNamara can continue to play defense as they have, they should be fine. They've had Mount Zion with 5 empty possessions to start the second half.
And with Quigley on the bench, who does McNamara turn to as that one is off the mark offensively?
I think it's the young man with the ball in his hands now. Martin Somerville, he's an all-league player. He's got to be able to be the guy to slow down things and make sure that the team is running what Coach Keithline wants to be run.
Fulfack, great stop there on defense. Back to Zion. And for McNamara, who started the season without Quigley, they have experience without him in the lineup as well.
I think another person they can look to with the ball in their hands is Chase Lawton. Chase is a very good leader. He does all the things that Coach Keithline asking him. He totally, in my opinion, understands his role. And right now, he's got to be the guy that brings the team together.
King will go to the line for a couple free throws. He leads all scorers with 7.
Well, I said it to start the half. McNamara needed to get a couple kills in the second half, but they started off this quarter with 2 kills back to back, 6 empty possessions. This could be 7 if he doesn't make this free throw.
4:08 to go in the third quarter. 1-point game here in Maryland. Got the second. He has 8.
It back up. Well, Coach Keithline's change from going man to zone has really taken away Mount Zion's rhythm on offense.
From the elbow, great ball movement, doesn't fall. It stays on this end.
Seems like we got some lids on both ends this half.
They're going to change the game clock to 3:56. That's the momentary delay. Now we're ready to resume play. Somerville near side, little shove. It's that physical play. 24 to shoot. Inside, nice look. Puts it on the wood, and that one off the mark, trying to follow the shot. Gets the rebound. Second try doesn't go. We'll get a whistle, and it will go the other way.
From behind. McNamara's doing a very good job of getting the ball inside. It just, the shots just aren't falling right now.
That's Moody's second foul.
Isaiah Alexander has returned for the Warriors. Wearing number 1.
Zion's Harold Taylor with it. They send it into the corner now to Zion, looking for some help. Long two, and that will fall. That's a college length two for Quaddy. Rather three. I don't know why I said two. He was behind the line. McNamara can't answer. Rebounded underneath. Goes up, and that is going to be a foul. Let's see who it's on. Quaddy with the foul, and that's his fourth personal. So a couple players in foul trouble.
Both teams are seeing some key players have to potentially go to the bench right now in a close match. Collingwood knocks down the first.
One.
3:12 to go in the third quarter. Off the back iron, follows the shot.
Collingwood gets his own rebound.
Got to watch your back here. Everyone settles back into the play, kick out, and it was a nice idea, but not on the same page there. Suber controls.
McNamara back to man.
What a move there. You'll probably see that on the highlights as the Mustang lost their footing. Back to Suber. 10 to shoot. Good help defense there. Right in the middle, wide open, and that will fall for Bird. He has 4.
McNamara looked to blitz the ball screen there, and Bird short rolled that and got himself an easy bucket at the elbow.
McNamara resets, corner 3, and that goes.
Falls.
They might have figured out the rims here. Lawton with his first bucket of the afternoon.
Chase Lawton, to me, for McNamara, is a silent assassin. He just does a little bit of everything, and whatever Coach Keepline needs on that night might be to get a bucket. Most nights it's him guarding the other team's best guards, but he finds a way to help the team in so many different ways.
Zion looking for the 3, off of the mark. Shot clock resets now as we go the other way. 1:48 to go in the third. Mustangs trying to solve this defense. They've struggled with it since that burst at the beginning of the quarter. Great move inside off the glass. Doesn't get the finish though.
Collingwood continues to get some really, really good looks. A couple of his shots just haven't fallen down for him.
He's done everything but get the points in this quarter. .110 to go in the third. Zion, baseline, looking to make a move, looking for the 3, and that will go. Who else but King? He has 10.
Lane King, the third.
He has such great elevation with his jump shot. He can shoot it with his length. He can shoot over top of other guards.
Mustangs looking to the near side. Collingwood with an answer. It's raining 3s in Tacoma.
Collingwood is playing. He's stepping it up here in the second half for McNamara.
40 seconds to go in the quarter. Zion closed out the last quarter super strong. Can they do it again? Off the mark, and free throws upcoming.
Looks like they're not calling it on the block, but almost like a push from behind. See who coach. No, he calls it on the big. I didn't think that was a foul from the big. Maybe a push from behind.
As active as Edope has been, not in foul trouble, just his first personal. One-point game. McNamara really handling the Quigley Storm well with him on the bench.
I can tell you the player that I feel like McNamara misses in this moment, certainly Jaden Johnson would help easily, but also losing Jaron Curtis. Jaron was running the point for those guys when both Jeremiah and Jaden were out in the beginning of the year, and he did something to his hand. So he's here on the bench with a cast on, but he would really help this team in this moment right now, being able to handle the ball and set the offense up. Mount Zion back into their 1-2-2.
15 seconds to go in the quarter. McNamara trying to close it out with momentum and potentially a lead. 8 to shoot. Somerville. Trap is waiting for him, gets through it. Puts it up, and it's going to be a foul on that, and some free throws upcoming with 2 seconds on the clock.
I don't know how you can push when you're blocking the ball at the top of his apex, but that's the call that the referee made. This could be good for Somerville right here to see the ball go through the net from the free throw line. They're going to need his scoring down the stretch.
And seeing free throws go in is what got him going in that first half as well, as he has 5.
McNamara back in the lead.
6 points for him. And that full court shot not there, as it is going to be Bishop McNamara 34, Mount Zion 33. And McNamara came into the quarter down by 7. They answer the bell, and all of a sudden it is once again a 1-point game, Coach.
Did they put the point up on the board?
The scoreboard says 33, but I believe now it's 33 all.
Whoa.
We'll go with what the scoreboard says for now. The scoreboard has it 33,
tied,
33.
I thought there it is. Now it's 34.
Okay, there we go. So 34-33 is your official score, with McNamara leading by 1. And McNamara gets it back, gets the lead with Quigley on the bench for the majority of that quarter, Coach.
Well, if they can continue to keep the lead and allow him to be able to sit so that he's fresh for them down the stretch, yeah, I think it's going to bode well for McNamara.
Now for Zion, not a great quarter for them. They only score a handful of points. What do they need to do to kind of reassert, especially knowing that McNamara's leader's on the bench?
Well, the big thing is they got to settle in against McNamara's zone. I think again that Coach Keepline making that adjustment in the third quarter, it threw Mount Zion off. Mount Zion was in a great rhythm within their man offense and being able to get shots wherever and whenever they wanted. But once they went to the zone, it forced them to settle for some deep threes. And I thought they weren't patient enough to allow the ball to touch inside enough.
Of course, what's at stake? The state championship here in Maryland. One of these teams will advance to Monday night with a date with the winner of our second game. It'll be St. Andrews and Ciabatta National. Final Four right here on PWG, streaming the Maryland Private School State Championship here from Tacoma Academy. We get set for the fourth quarter between McNamara and Mount Zion, and it has been a thumper of a game between these two teams.
McNamara looked like they were trying to show zone, but they're back into their man-to-man defense.
Chandler defending on the point. Bounce pass inside to the big fella, but the defense converges. They'll set it up. 3-ball off the mark for Alexander. Underneath, scooped up by Zion. Back to Alexander, kicks it out. back into the paint.
The king.
And that doesn't go. Rebound again. No, McNamara's there. We got a pile up on I-95, and it is going to be McNamara out of the scrum. They got a man open deep, and off of the rim it goes. They're going to say goaltending anyway because the basket moved, and McNamara now leads by 3.
I'll be honest with you, I actually thought McNamara got away with the travel on that layup there.
Coach will take it, though. That was a fun play. And one of the Zion players was down on the back end, gets up okay. That's why we have a stoppage. And that's one of those momentum plays in the fourth quarter, and stymied a little bit by a stop and play there.
Well, what you'd love to see right there is that you got two teams who are saying they want to get to the championship. And both teams' players are diving on the floor, trying to fight for loose balls, give themselves second chance opportunities. McNamara was able to come out of it in that scrum and get a layup at the other end.
It's funny how these tournaments work. Once you get to the fourth quarter, it's almost like an all-star game or something like that. That switch goes on.
No doubt. These guys played a lot of basketball this year, and it's winning time, as we like to call it. And the players who want to win the most are going to step up in this time of the game.
Zion triple, and that is nothing but net for Bobby Montgomery, his first of the evening. .36 all. McNamara going right back to the elbow, and it finally falls for Collingwood. He's had a couple misses. Maybe that gets him going, Coach.
Collingwood is really stepping up for McNamara in this half, and that's a big shot to give them back the lead.
Loose ball corralled by the Mustangs. It's 3-on-1, looking for the alley-oop up top, and just off the mark for Moody. Zion trying to answer, going quick on the other end. Are we going to get a timeout? We do.
Smart call by Coach Q. Save the possession and not let that ball go out of bounds or their guys to turn it over.
As possessions get more valuable, those little things, Coach, come into play.
No doubt. You know, Coach Q wants this win bad. I can see it on his face. And he stepped up for his team in a great moment right there, being able to call a timeout and make sure they didn't turn that ball back over.
Coach,
it's going to be nice to see what he draws coming out of this timeout.
We got a tie game as we get towards winning time, as you call it. What's the mood like in one of these huddles?
Well, one, you got to get everybody to understand, breathe, relax. You know, both teams have won a lot of games this year, and they've been in these type of moments. And as coaches, that's one of the things we like to tell our guys, like, hey, we've been here before. So let's calm down and relax. Let's settle in and continue to be who we've been all year and be patient. Right now, the biggest key is you got to lock in on defense. To win games like this, you got to be the team that can make the most stops and eliminate second chance opportunities.
100%, Coach, as we tick down towards winning time here in Tacoma Academy. Phenomenal tournament being put on here as we're going to crown a state championship by the end of Monday night. These teams trying to get in to that final game, that last dance of the big dance here in Maryland. Zion
McNamara back to man-to-man.
Zion looking for the lead here. .10 to shoot. Great bounce pass underneath and a throwdown statement from Fullfack. He has 8.
Mount Zion did a great job of just being patient, getting into their ball screen. The big fella slipped on it, found himself at the rim to be able to have a tough finish.
McNamara still without Quigley, puts up the 3,
And
it
there is
goes.
Somerville.
He hits free throws and all of a sudden he gets it from the field. And this feels like a boxing match or the end of Rocky. Both teams now with momentum haymakers.
They are throwing punches, Coach.
In the best way possible.
Yes, sir.
15 to shoot for Zion. Baseline. Right back corner 3, off the mark, rebounded by McNamara.
Good box out by Collingwood on that last possession.
Mustangs open 3 in transition, it goes!
And there's Prince Alexander Moody. from Chase Lawton. Chase found his shooter wide open, and he knocked down the shot.
McNamara 44, Mount Zion 38. The haymakers keep coming. McNamara with 2 big plays back to back. Can we get an answer? We'll get a foul underneath.
Against man-to-man, Mount Zion has looked really, really good. They move the ball side to side, and they find the open areas and get their guys opportunities for best looks.
2 shots for Hassan Dorman.
4:49 left. Mount Zion at the line for 2.
Throughout the game, Coach, both teams really mixing their defense as well. As we get towards winning time here, do you just kind of fall back on what you do best, or do you keep really mixing things in at this point?
Well, I think Marty's doing Coach Keithline, I should say, is doing an unbelievable job of mixing things up and keeping Mount Zion off balance. It's really what I believe has gotten them the lead, is to be able to keep Mount Zion off balance. Mount Zion, to me, is stuck with what they've been doing and staying in that 1-2-2. But it looks like here they're switching back to man.
Lawton with it. Again, Quigley still on the bench as the Mustangs have built this lead. Somerville looking for some help.
Great strip.
Ripped away. Zion with numbers. And
Great
that is
finish.
a terrific finish. Dorman with it. He has 5. 3-point game with 4:19 to play. And it looks like Quigley is getting ready to come in.
I don't think that ball was deflected. McNamara brings back their floor general with 4 minutes here left in the game.
Coach, do you hear that? That's Quigley's music. He's coming in. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin here.
Oh, no.
As that one's thrown away, but Zion comes up with it. And that is a terrific finish for Zuber, as he now has 8, rather 10. 1-point game, McNamara by 1, 3:57 to go. Quigley sends it to the corner, baseline drive, off and foul, so a couple free throws coming for Moody. And Coach, when you've had a star or your main guy kind of sit out for a quarter like that, how do you almost reintegrate him? Because sitting on the bench for so long, does he get cold? How do you work through that?
Well, when you got a guy like JQ, I mean, he's a veteran. He's a guy that you trust, and the other pieces, the teammates trust him. So being able to integrate him back actually moves everybody to their natural space on the floor. So you have a guy who now, as I like to say, from the point guard spot, can serve up the plate. That's a big key for them down the stretch. Coach is going offense, defense here. He just took JQ back out of the game to make sure he's put in position to get that 5th foul here with 3:48 still left in the game.
And that falls back to a 2-point advantage. 3:44 to go in this game.
Great screen.
Open shot, and we will get some free throws. Coach, was that late, or what'd you see?
I thought that was late, and I kind of tend to agree with Coach Keithline. I think he kicked his legs out.
Team's 7th.
Kawadi goes to the line, and that's 7 fouls on McNamara, so shooting the rest of the way for Mount Zion.
3 shots.
These are big free throws here. Should be 3. This is the first.
So it's an opportunity to tie.
Follow Quitting.
Gets the second.
JQ back in the game.
And we're all tied up, Coach.
3:35 left here. Mount Zion is extending their man-to-man pressure full court. They're looking to try to keep the ball out of JQ's hands and force the other guys to run the offense.
Quigley with it. 3:20 to go. Quigley looking for some help. Kick out. Lawton with it. He's had his moments this afternoon, and that's taken away by Zion. That's King with it.
McNamara's had a couple possessions where their guys weren't on the same.
So we tick down to 3 minutes, make it 2:59. We got a whistle. And we get that offense-defense sub as Quigley steps out.
As I was saying before, I think that's 2 possessions in a row where McNamara's players were not locked into what each other were doing. And it's allowed Mount Zion to force 2 turnovers.
Suber with it for the Warriors, directing traffic. And that's going to be free throws. 1-and-1 coming after Collingwood's going to get charged with the, we'll call it pass interference type of foul.
Team's 8th. 1-1 for Coity.
2:51 to go in this one.
Coach Keithline electing to keep both of his bigs in here for this next possession on offense, taking out one of his best shooters and Chris Alexander Newton. Free throw off.
So Quigley will bring it up with 2:40 to go in this game. Pay comes up to get him some space. Quigley from the elbow doesn't go. He's almost automatic from there.
Thought he faded away a little bit on that one.
Warriors with an opportunity to take the lead. 20 seconds on the shot clock. An offensive foul there, Coach. What'd you see?
I didn't see. Wow.
And that's going to be his 5th foul, Coach.
I think that's one of those possessions where I feel like referee a little too involved. Coach Somerville did a great job of poking the ball away, and it would have just been McNamara's ball anyway. But he called a moving screen on that one.
So Quigley with it now. McNamara a chance to take the lead.
Got the switch that they want.
Taking down towards 2 minutes. Collingwood with the bucket.
Collingwood is on fire in the second half. He's done an unbelievable job of getting to that mid-range elbow shot. And he knocks that one down to give McNamara the lead.
2-point game now as we are at 2:02 to play, Coach. Every possession you can see the coaches kind of micro-coaching every possession at this point.
They want to make sure that they're going to get the best looks they can down the stretch to give their team the best opportunity to win. This is what we do every day in practice, is running these plays, and right now, both of these coaches, they're not playing checkers, they're playing chess.
Now with the assistant coaches, because every team has a bunch, who's in charge of what when you're managing this?
I think it's different for every team. You know, some guys will put a guy in charge of defense. Some guys will put guys in charge of offense. For me, I like my coaches to be able to be in my ear when they see things that are happening. You know, we give them autonomy to be out scouting and getting to know the other teams. So we want to be able to, you got to be able to trust the guys who are right next to you. And for me, I really have, I put a lot of faith and trust in my assistant coaches because it's not all about me. They are the guys who help me grow to be better, and certainly are in there every day helping our players to grow.
I remember back when I was doing PA announcing at Ireton back in 2005, there was always one coach on the bench that would come over. How many fouls? How many timeouts? Everyone almost had an assignment.
You have to. I feel like in this game, you're only as good as your village. And so you want everybody to be fully invested and fully involved.
Under 2 to go. 2-point game. Mustangs with the lead. Warriors set it near side. King dishes it off. Farfak with it at the top. 13 to shoot.
Little floppy action.
King baseline off the glass, and he'll go to the line for a couple.
Number 11, Jalen Collingwood. That's his 4th.
They're saying it's a 1-and-1 on the floor.
2 shots.
Last 1-and-1, McNamara kept 2 bigs. Let's see
I
if they do that.
I think the ref went the foul was a call on 11, but this is for 2 shots.
Got it.
Looked like he rushed that one. This is where, as a coach, you try to tell your player, breathe and relax, take your time, go through your normal routine, see it go through the net. King knocks down the second to make it a 1-point game.
Only a sophomore as well. I had to double check his year because he's played pretty big tonight.
He looks like another one of those potential special wings that come out of the DMV area here in the next couple years.
So got a 1-point game, right back to the drawing board as we tick down towards this one. And this is the fun time of the game for everyone, not just the fans at home watching in the stands, but for the coaches.
No doubt. You know, on the offensive end, you're trying to draw up what can give you another bucket to get you a lead, or certainly put yourself in position to get downhill, maybe to get to the free throw line. And then defensively, which has always been my thing, how we're going to stop the other team.
So both teams step out of the huddle here as they get set for the final 141 of this game. 1-point game.
Looks like Mount Zion is going back to their zone.
I'm going to go ahead and announcers jinx it. 141 to go in regulation, as they say. So Quigley.
We got parents on the other sideline walking up and down the sideline, getting the crowd hyped up. Mount Zion's family is into it. They want to see themselves get to that championship.
Quigley playing through 4 fouls. Going to let the shot clock run down, wait for Zion to come out and defend as they lead by 1.
Somerville for a 3.
Rims
in and out.
out.
But, oh.
And Zion comes away with an opportunity for the lead now with 1:12 to go. Fallfack near side, looking for the 3, off the mark. Big collision underneath, and where will it go?
They call the foul. Is that JQ's 5th? Yes.
They're going to call it on Quigley. Are they saying that's his 5th?
That is his 5th foul.
Number 3, Jeremiah Quigley. That's his 5th personal foul. A round of applause for Jeremiah Quigley, a senior.
Coach,
that's a
what'd
tough
you
call.
see there?
Well, what you see there is 2 guys going after a loose ball, and the referee felt that Quigley caught Logan Sumer on the arm, and unfortunately for McNamara, their leader is out for the rest of the game.
First free throw will fall. We're all tied. Now, McNamara for a good chunk of this game has been without him due to the foul trouble. So everyone's going to kind of have to resume that role.
Yes.
Zion retakes the lead.
Zion extends pressure and goes to man.
1 minute to go here at Tacoma Academy. A trip to the championship game on the line.
I think Zion feels comfortable with JQ out of the game, being able to lock in. That was almost an offensive foul.
Somerville 3 hits it from the parking lot. Mustangs lead. McNamara back on top by 2, 44 seconds to go, and he is in double figures. And Coach, you called it. When Quigley's out, Somerville has to cook.
And he's done it all year long. And so this moment, he's been prepared for it, and right now he's owning the moment. That was a heck of a shot to give their team a 2-point lead.
And this is getting fun. The fans are getting hyped up. I don't know what they put in that mom's coffee, but they are ready to go. I'll have some of what they're having.
I'm always good. I'm always in it for some good banter. And when you got a parent that's trying to hype their crowd up, give their kids the best opportunity in supporting them the right way, this is what you want to see.
And Coach, you've been spoiled by one of the best student sections in the country at Gonzaga with some of the stuff they do.
Look, I missed them the other night. in that game against Sidwell Friends. We had to play an early 5 o'clock game. We have so many kids who play other sports and do other activities. Unfortunately, we didn't get to get a crowd out there. Those guys, for us, are worth 10 points tonight, and we needed their 10 points, but we didn't have them.
Zion fans trying to score some points of their own.
Great
Warriors
kick out.
For 3. It rims in! An answer from Montgomery. And Zion with the lead, 1-point lead, 32 seconds to go. Coach, punch, counter punch.
Let me tell you, Francis Foley, we haven't talked about him a whole lot other than at the half because he was the second leading scorer for Mount Zion. But the things that he has done all night, when he knows he can take a guy to the rim and finish, he does. But he does a really good job, which is something that is very underrated for most forward-type bigs in the area. He can pass the ball. And he found a wide open teammate in Bobby Montgomery in the corner for 3, and now they're back in the lead.
Back and forth, back and forth. Somerville has been the guy for McNamara. Do they go back to him, or do you have maybe a kick-out play off of them?
Well, I can tell you this. McNamara has another shooter on the floor that can shoot the ball just as good as Somerville. I wouldn't be surprised that Coach Keithline is in the huddle saying, hey, maybe we're drawing something up to get it to Somerville, but let's know that our second option could be another good option. So whoever's running the show right now, be prepared to make sure that you know who that second option is. And for me, that would be Prince Alexander Moody. He is a heck of a shooter as well, and he'd be the guy that I'd be looking to get the ball to just as much as getting it to Somerville. And then we also got to say, Coach, Collingwood has been really good. It's not like they need a 3 right now. They just need to get a bucket. And he'd be another guy that I'd be looking for in this opportunity. But right now they're putting the ball in Prince Alexander Moody's hand as the lead guard.
1-point game, 25 seconds. Defense chance from the Zion faithful. Mustangs get it to Somerville. 18 to shoot,
Great
Somerville.
blitz. Oh.
And we're going to get a foul on the floor.
I think they had a foul to give, Coach.
Foul charge, number 4, Francis Falifax. That's his second, team's 5th.
Team's 5th.
They actually still have one more to give, so that's not a bad foul.
Shot clock will reset to 30. 17 to play.
So no shot clock. Shot clock's off at this time with 17 seconds left. And Mount Zion knows that they should know that they still have one more foul to give.
Moody will bring it up. 15 to go. Moody looking for some help. Somerville with it. 10 to play. Somerville steps back. Guarded by a big. Somerville from the elbow. Kick out. McNamara 3 off the mark. 2 seconds. Zion with the rebound. There will be a foul. The game is not over. There's a foul called before. The game is not over. Some fans ran onto the floor, but I believe there's still 1 to 2 seconds.
1 second left.
So they're calling a jump ball. I'm not sure I saw that one.
I definitely would have been a hold, in my opinion, but not a jump ball.
They're saying it's McNamara ball. That's where the refs are pointing unless they're calling a timeout.
Wow.
Timeout, McNamara.
I think the referees got that one wrong. That looked like a hold to me, not a held ball.
So they're putting 2 seconds back on. The refs are pointing to under the basket. So I believe that they're inbounding it underneath, and I think it's McNamara ball. I never got a clear indication from the officials. McNamara is the one with the whiteboard out drawing up a play, so I'm guessing it's Mustang's ball. Apologies, as we didn't get a clear indication. We know it's coming in from under the basket. Not quite sure who's inbounding, but I believe it's going to be McNamara based off their action.
McNamara's ball coming in here. Mount Zion is talking about what they want to do here defensively. Their guys are locked in. Coach is yelling over to some last-second play.
Coach, what are you drawing up real quick here?
They're good. Well,
one of the bigs towards the basket.
They're gonna run Somerville off of a screen-to-screener action. I've seen this play a number of times. They like to run him run him through a zipper here, but he went over around the outside.
Got to get it in. Underneath tip. Shot is up. Somerville off the mark. Mount Zion survives. And they are going to advance to the Maryland Private State Championship game on Monday night. They take down the Mustangs 51-50 in an afternoon thriller.
If I can say this, we just got treated to an unbelievable first semifinal game. If the second one is anything like this will be a great, great day of basketball.
Mount Zion, a balanced team throughout the tournament, and we saw it again today. No real one guy taking over, everyone taking their turns.
That was a game coached by two great coaches, and both of them put on display being able to put their guys in the best position to be able to win the game. You know, it's unfortunate one team has to lose, but we were just treated to a great basketball game right there. And hats off to both teams, hats off to their seniors, and Mount Zion's on to the championship.